So we have a few trailers coming at you, and we're going to start with Magazine Dreams. Yes, that movie that was shelved, starring Jonathan Majors a couple of years ago. So to give a little bit of backstory before we jump in, Magazine Dreams was kind of an Oscar vehicle for disgraced actor Jonathan Majors. In 2013, it was supposed to come out that year. It sold at Sundance in 2023, and there was Oscar talk for it. It was supposed to come out in December. Jonathan Majors was in that time convicted of misdemeanor assault of his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari, and has been kind of making a comeback tour as people do in this industry, whether you think they deserve to or not. And Briarcliff Distribution, who distributed The Apprentice, film that no one wanted to touch, has picked this up for distribution, and they will be coming out this spring. So to recap, this is a bodybuilding drama. That's all we knew in the beginning, and it stars Jonathan Majors as Killian Maddox, who's an aspiring bodybuilder. He's passionate, he's driven, he's obsessed. His room is covered in bodybuilding posters, and it's a drama. He's clearly making up for what's missing on the inside with the outside. You see him lose control, lose his temper. But he's struggling, probably financially. He's struggling. He's got to look after his father also. This is a beautiful trailer. It's really moving. There's this operatic thing going on. Man, this looks really good. And I hate to, I'm not going to endorse Jonathan Majors yet, but he is making a comeback, and we're probably going to watch this.
Dude, we wanted to see listen, Andy and I have been doing this podcast a while. We wanted to see this movie long before the news broke. We were stoked about this way before any of this happened. And I don't mean to say I'm not still stoked about it, but it looks just as good as we had thought it would look. Like, Killian Maddox is such a complicated individual, this hulking brute of a man. And dude, he's so soft. You hear Major speak. His voice is like higher pitch. He's pitching him up. He's higher than Kang. Like, he's this big softy, dude, who's so misunderstood and nobody gets him, and he's alone, and he's like taking care of his dad, and he thinks he's got to hit steroids to get bigger because then I'll mean something. Like, it's brutal. This is like Darren Aronofsky brutal stuff. But also, Majors is kind of a monster. So like, it's a weird thing, and it's a weird space to be in for film. I really wish the Major stuff had never happened, and like we could all just enjoy this movie for what it is. I'm worried I won't be able to enjoy it the same way, but I am certainly interested. I was interested in Magazine Dreams before, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't still interested in it now. That's Magazine Dreams. I know we'll have to cover it at some point. The next film we're talking about is Final Destination Bloodlines, which I'm really excited to talk about because I don't think I've seen much of this series. I think I've seen a couple of them, maybe all the way through. I'm very familiar with the clips, though. Final Destination. Bloodlines is the 6th entry in the Final Destination series. Of course, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sure you're aware that Final Destination is the movies where a group of young teenagers, friends, are predicted to die at the beginning of the movie. Somehow they escape their death, and then slowly death comes for them in a variety of like Rube Goldbergian like machine ways, or like just little things will happen in a room around them, and suddenly they slip and fall and crack their neck, or God forbid something worse. As 5 of these films before this, they each escalate in violence and complication of plot, I think. And this looks like, as somebody who's not seen it all, bit of a reset. Bit of a, hey, come on in. If you missed the first 5 Final Destinations, you can bring your high school date or whatever, because I'm sure you're a high schooler who hasn't seen them, or you're like me, a bum, and watch Final Destination and enjoy it. Actually, for what it's worth, good teaser. You get like a whole kill sequence in here, which is low-key, I think, what a Final Destination teaser should do. Thank God it's not just a logo reveal. We open on a young man, Eric, a tattoo artist who is currently giving a tongue piercing to somebody. After they leave, he pops on his Spotify, Eric's Sad Mix, very funny in all caps. And slowly, as he's giving himself a tattoo of the word dad, after looking at a photo of his dear old dad, dear old pop, some things start to happen around the tattoo shop. This cleaning fluid tips over onto the ground, and this chain gets caught around this fan, and it hooks his septum piercing. And before he knows it, he's getting strung up by his nose before he flips off the chair. And well, you can watch the trailer. Anyway, solid teaser. Credit where it's due. That's a lot for a teaser. Most just give you a logo, so I'm impressed. What do you think of this, Andy?
Oh man, it brought back memories. So the first Final Destination was a huge phenomenon. In the first one, famously, these teens that are supposed to get on a plane don't get on it, and the plane blows up. And what's amazing in the scene, it happens off screen, the plane explosion, and you kind of don't see it because they're in the airport, and then like the shock waves come and it explode the glass in the terminal, and it's kind of an amazing thing. This creeped me out so bad because there's so many things that are set. It reminded me of Saw actually because it was so kind of gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this fan that's kind of rickety that's swiping this chain that's getting slow more and more loose. There's cleaning fluid that's inevitably tipped over. There's like all these things setting up to kill this person. And man, I thought it was really effective. And like I said, it reminded me more of Saw than Final Destination.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I had a friend reach out on Twitter and we were talking about it. And like I do think Saw and Final Destination have a similar trajectory and that they both have very complicated murders and each entry in the series has to up the ante, right? And make it more complicated. The way this guy is trying to escape it by like holding onto this chain and like crawling up on this thing, like it's yeah, it feels just like a Saw trap. Got to get out before it's too late. It's rad. I think the Final Destination Bloodlines teaser looks good. Hopefully we get more of the movie. Also, as far as I know, the dad in the trailer is not actually related to anybody in the series because I hadn't seen many of those previous ones, and I figured, oh, maybe that's like the protagonist from the first one or something, and like I don't think they're anybody. So that's one of the Bloodlines. We'll find out more soon. One more teaser to talk about, Andy. Hit us with it.
Fantastic Four: First Steps. So this is the new Fantastic Four movie, which we've anxiously been awaiting. We don't really see too much in the trailer. It's set in the 60s. We knew that it was going to be kind of a period piece. How that eventually gets tied into the rest of the MCU, we'll find out. So we meet our Fantastic Four, having already kind of become that. Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Eben Moss Backrack as Ben Grimm, the Thing. So we see those three characters, the Thing. We see Joseph Quinn jump and burst into flames as the Human Torch. We see Vanessa Kirby turn invisible. We do not see Reed Richards turn into Fantastic, as in he doesn't do any stretchy thing. Like that's his whole thing. So he can stretch his body, his arms, and that sort of thing. For some reason they didn't have us do any of that. We get glimpses of the villain Galactus. No voice. That's going to be voiced by Ralph Ineson, so I'm interested to see that voice. No Silver Surfer, which is going to be played by Julia Garner. The Silver Surfer is, of course, the harbinger of Galactus. I think this looks good. But we don't see too much. Like we don't get anything on plot or on tone. Really, there's a little bit of humor. I think it does look good on a technical spot. The character design is good, but we just don't have a lot. I wish they'd given us more. We'll have to wait till the full teaser comes out in a couple of months.
Yeah, I'm going to say the fault of this one is on Disney. They opened this teaser with an hour-long live stream, including a live interview with the cast on a stage, all pressing a button together to launch the
Oh my
Fantastic
God.
Four teaser. It was like, this is going to be the most monumental. And then you watch it, you're like, this is kind of a lame teaser. Yeah, you don't see Mr. Fantastic's powers doll. They got a lot of CGI to do on this movie. They definitely have not worked out Silver Surfer yet, so I don't see them. Like, they're still working on it. The big thing I think that people are afraid of is this going to be better than the 2005 Fantastic Four? And for those of you who are thinking the 2005 Fantastic Four sucked, do you remember Four Stick? That was really bad, dude. Like, it can get worse for sure. So, like, the bar is pretty low. And for what Marvel's doing here, it's a layup. They're a family. They're together. They're all going to get their powers. They're going to fight the first person. Like, it just seems like such a layup Marvel plot. And this fun 60s Jetsons retro future world that we're in seems awesome. Like I love the look of it. The design seems really sharp, but there's just not a lot of meat on the bone here. We don't see more than kind of what we already knew. We do get a good look at the Thing design, and I think that's valuable. But outside of that, I don't know, man. Need a little bit more meat on this bone. That's what I think about the Fantastic Four First Steps teaser.
I had no idea that they had done this big countdown with the whole cast.
Did you not
that
see
makes
that
it
this morning?
no.
God. I'll send it to you. Yes.
I knew that it was going to be on like Good Morning America or whatever, but so that makes this look really bad. Like
Yeah,
if I had a countdown like that, I would expect something like the Superman trailer, which just
yeah,
dropped when it
I
dropped, you know?
yeah, I was hoping for like a 2.5 minute full trailer, hold on to your seat. And it's like, no, this is like a minute 40, a minute 30. It's fine. It's good. I think what's here looks cool for sure. I think it looks like a good reset for Marvel. I'm interested in where it's going. But like gotta get another trailer out soon. Gotta see Mr. Fantastic stretching. We need the memes. People wanted the meme post today. They wanted the memes. They were ready.
Yeah,
They
that
wanted to
there
make
was really
stretch
nothing.
jokes.
Yeah, so I withholding judgment until we can see more.
Yeah, absolutely. One more movie to talk about on the podcast this week. If you've stuck around for this, so stoked to talk about it. This is a movie I heard I should watch last year. People were like, have you seen this? You should check this movie out. Red Letter Media covered it. I was like, oh man, this really seems like something worth checking out. And I just never got around to it. And then this week, we wanted to watch Sing Sing, the A24 feature starring Coleman Domingo. We thought it was going to be on Apple, like with the subscription. Turns out it's still a $20 rental over there. And while looking for something else, I figured out, hey, you know what? Strange Darling is only a $6 rental. So we should watch that. So with that, we should talk about this movie. I'm going to be taking the summary, so please excuse my delivery. The film is Strange Darling.